One topic that people have a lot of questions about are the taxes that apply at the time of someone's death. And here in New Jersey, there are actually a lot of taxes that you need to be aware of. First, there's always an income tax. The deceased individual would have an income tax for the year in which they died, assuming they reached the threshold for filing an income tax, which in the case of an estate would be $600. And the estate actually has to file its own income tax separate from the deceased's income tax return for the last year they were alive. The estate files its own separate return using a 1041 form, assuming they have $600 or more in income. Beyond that, in New Jersey, there's also a estate tax, which is taxed on assets in excess of $675,000, which is pretty easy to get to. And actually, in New Jersey, that's the lowest threshold in the country of all the states. So if a person dies and have assets in excess of $675,000, they will be subject to an estate tax potentially. There are some exceptions and deductions. Assets passing between spouses are exempt from that tax. In addition to the estate tax, there's an inheritance tax as well. And that tax is based on the blood relationship between the deceased individual and the beneficiaries, so that parents and children, spouses, are not subject to an inheritance tax. But if you leave assets to a brother, or you leave it to a friend, a niece, nephew, there would be an inheritance tax. And that tax can run anywhere between 11 and 15% for brothers and sisters, up to 15 and 16% for individuals who are not related to you. So that's a significant potential tax at the time of someone's death. There's also a federal income tax that now kicks in at a very high exemption level at $5 million. So for now, the way the laws are structured, there is rarely going to be, for most individuals, a federal tax at the time of their death, because each individual gets a $5 million exemption, and spouses can actually share their exemptions. And if one spouse dies and didn't use all of their $5 million, they can actually pass it along to their surviving spouse and add it to the $5 million that spouse gets. But those are the taxes that basically apply at the time of someone's death.